What is up, my friends? Welcome back to the Daily Dose. If you're new, thank you for being here. Welcome. We're glad you're here. So today we are going to be looking at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 in our summary for today, which is day number 327 in our Bible reading plan, right? We're going through the Bible in a year. We are on day number 327, approaching the very final stages of the Bible. We're making it through, and we are almost done, y'all. So if you have been trucking along, chugga, choo-choo, we're almost at our station. So anyways, again, like I said, today, day number 327, 1 Thessalonians, and we're just looking at chapter 5 today. That's it. We've got Psalm 17 on the plate for today as well for our devotional reading, but all we're going to be looking at right now is chapter 5, 1 Thessalonians. Okay, as I mentioned when we were going through some of the stuff yesterday in chapter 4 of 1 Thessalonians, there is some talk here about the end times, about the day of the Lord. Okay, I'm not going to get too dogmatic about this because there are some differing views and opinions, but what I want to do is read the first half of chapter 5. Chapter 5 is very short. Paul has a little section at the beginning that talks about the day of the Lord, and then towards the end, he's got, a few final instructions, and he's got his kind of outro, his little farewell closing section of this letter as he closes the letter to the Thessalonians. So, chapter 5, beginning it says, "Now, brothers and sisters, about times and dates we do not need to write to you, for you know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night." Okay, now it is in large circles believed that this day of the Lord is the return of the Lord to the earth, right? The return of the Lord to the earth. Some people think it's talking about the rapture. Some people think it's talking about the second coming. But in any case, Paul seems to be talking about definitely a day, some point in the future, when the Lord is going to come. And he says he's going to come like a thief in the night. How do thieves come in the night? They come when people aren't expecting them, right? When a thief comes to rob into somebody's house at night, they're probably not going to do it if there's lights on in the house and if they see people walking around holding shotguns, right? A thief is going to come and try to steal something from your house either when it's late and you're asleep, or when they know that you're not home and there is no activity around the house and you're out of town. We got Christmas time coming up, right? Y'all have seen the movie Home Alone, old school movie, right? There were thieves that would try to go break into people's houses when they were out of town for Christmas to steal stuff, right? So the point here is that they're saying that the Lord will come like a thief in the night. And I believe that to mean he will come at a time when people aren't expecting it, right? So then Paul goes on, while people are saying, peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape, right? So I don't know if any of you have ever been pregnant, or if you're a guy, if you have been around someone, a spouse who's pregnant, but when it gets closer towards those latter stages, when it's about time to give birth, you might have some false contractions, or what do they call it? I can't remember the name, y'all, but if you know, right? There are some contractions that are like kind of false contractions, right? Briggs and something. Anyways, point being though is that you can be pregnant, you can be going about your day doing your business, whatever, and then your water breaks. When your water breaks, you may not have been expecting it. I mean, you knew that it was coming soon, obviously. If you're pregnant, you know that you're probably approaching 9 months, and it could happen any day. But in most cases, you don't know exactly when it's going to happen, right? There are some signs, you've got a good idea, but you don't know exactly when. But once that water breaks, it's like a surprise. It's bam, okay, you're going into labor, ready or not. Here we go. So that seems to be kind of the terminology here that Paul is using about the Lord coming, and people may not be expecting it, right? And some people are not going to be ready. But then in contrast to that, Paul goes on to say, but you, brothers and sisters. So, but you, Christians, right? Brothers and sisters, are not in darkness so that this day should surprise you like a thief. In other words, Christians, you are not in darkness. You know better, right? So you should not be totally surprised and taken off guard when this happens, right? Now, again, do we know exactly when the day and the time is that this event is going to happen about that Paul is talking about? We don't know, right? But that's not the point. I think that the point is about being taken by surprise, about it coming upon us unexpectedly, right? So Paul is saying for unbelievers, it's going to come upon them unexpectedly, and it's going to be bad. It ain't going to be good, and they will not escape, right? But in contrast to that, again, Paul says, brothers and sisters, you are not in darkness so that this day should surprise you like a thief. You are children of the light and children of the day. We do not belong to the night or to the darkness. So then, let us not be like others who are asleep. Let us be awake and sober, right? And now sometimes this phrase, let's not be sleeping, sometimes the term sleep is used kind of as a euphemism for death, right? Like when Jesus went to go raise the dead girl, and people were saying, she's dead, and he said, oh, she's sleeping. And anyways, the term sleeping, when we read it in the New Testament, oftentimes it refers to someone who has died, right? But in this case, it appears to be someone who is asleep to the truth, or unconscious to the truth, or hardened to the truth, or someone who does not know or who chooses not to embrace the truth, right? So here Paul is saying, look, let's not be like those who are asleep. Let's not be going about our day focused on this life and only this life, asleep, unconscious, not paying attention to the reality of God. Let's not do that, right? Let us be awake and sober, okay? Let us be awake and mindful of everything that's going on around us and the fact that God reigns, right? And then Paul says, for those who sleep at night, and those who get drunk at night. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, putting on faith and love as a breastplate, and the hope of salvation as a helmet. God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. Did you notice that? God did not appoint us to suffer wrath. He appointed us to receive salvation. Who is Paul giving the credit to for salvation? For bringing a person to salvation? God, right? Paul did not say, we chose to receive salvation, right? Although there is truth to that for those of us who are believers. But Paul says that God appointed us or elected us. You follow me there? Paul appointed us or elected us. Okay? Not to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation. So what's interesting also here is if you look at the other side of the coin, it appears that Paul is saying, look, God did appoint some people to suffer wrath, not us. He appointed us to receive salvation through Jesus. But apparently some people God appointed, he made the choice for them, in a sense, to suffer wrath. Am I just missing it here? Or does that seem to be what Paul is getting at, right? But then Paul closes this section by saying, he, Jesus, died for us so that whether we are awake or asleep, we may live together with him. And I'm presuming there that he means whether we are awake, like alive in the flesh, or whether we are asleep, like we've died, we've passed on, we're on the other side of the grave, right? Either way, we may live together with him. Therefore, so because of all of that we just talked about, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Okay? And again, there's more. Well, what is encouragement, right? Encouragement, if I had to define it in my own words, I would say encouragement is giving someone an affirmation or pushing them along, helping them to press along, trying to motivate them to continue on in a certain area, right? If if you have a child and your child is learning how to play sports, play soccer or baseball or play piano or play with Legos or walk, whatever your kid's learning how to do. If your kid is starting to do something, you encourage them, right? Isn't that normal and natural? Assuming they're not trying to do something dangerous, right? But you say, yeah, you got it, honey. Just a couple more steps and you will have made it all the way across the living room, walking. Or, yeah, hey, honey, you're doing great on the piano. Just try to hit those chords, a little bit more accurately, right? You're doing so good, though. Keep it up. Encouragement is exhorting someone to keep going in the direction that they're already headed. And here we see that. Paul says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up just as in fact you are doing, right? So Paul's encouraging them to keep encouraging others in the same way that they've already been doing. So the Thessalonians needed encouragement. They've been encouraging. They've been doing many of the things they were supposed to do, but Paul still gives them extra encouragement, right? So that they don't lose heart and so that they keep going. Okay? There have been a lot of times over the past year where I have wanted to drop the mic on the Daily Dose and just say, look, not that many people even view these videos, and I put a ton of time into this. Like, I put in like 20 hours a week into these videos, right? And I can see on YouTube like how many views each video has, and some videos don't get any views. And I'm like, am I wasting my time? What am I doing? But there have been certain key people who have come along the way and encouraged me and said, Adam, you're doing a great job, right? And even if people aren't viewing the videos now, maybe one day they will. Those videos don't go away. They stay on YouTube, right? So just because they're not being viewed right now doesn't mean that they're not going to be viewed in the future. And it's not like nobody's watching any videos, right? Some people are watching the videos, and my hope and my prayer is that those people are benefiting in some way. Not because I'm some super cool guy who knows all this information and I can help you and solve your problems. No, the opposite. I don't know what I'm doing. All I know is what I've heard other people say and stuff I've observed and stuff that I've read. And I'm just trying to do this as an encouragement to encourage y'all to get into the Word every day, because it is that important and that life-changing, right, for us as believers to stay in the Word of God. So encouragement is super important. Go encourage somebody today. Yep, you. Go encourage somebody today. Right now, send somebody a text message. Pick up the phone. Give somebody a call. Go encourage somebody, friend. That's all I got for today. So, hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for your time. And until we meet again, deuces.